welcome to the Director's Workshop. The aim of this workshop is to explore different permutations of telling a story which is scripted. We're going to go through some exercises. Hopefully you'll pick up habits that you can apply to stories that you've written, that you will direct, etc. The challenge is to direct a script written by someone else, which is very different than directing something that you've written yourself. Yeah. Additionally, under the topic of aim, when we watch a scene, there's so much that's going on that's not written on the page. The hopes, the aspirations, the plans, the strategies, etc. of the characters come to light. It's not on the page. My aim is that this workshop will give you some insight into the process of interrogating a script, the characters and their motivations, as well as to highlight those using different camera techniques. Okay. Format. I've deliberately not shared the script or the backstory with the actors in order to necessitate directors to open up dialogue regarding choices and decision making with the actors.
Dialogue you long
Otherwise, we have two experienced professional actors coming next week who are quite capable of making choices. Choices that will influence the three directors. So I'm going to make the directors work harder, but it will pay dividends. Okay? Part one, interrogating the story. Could we put the script up, please? Has anyone had a chance to read the?
Yeah, I did just now.
You did just now. Okay. I'm gonna read it. Interior coffee shop day. Mary, 59, is seated in the middle of a busy coffee shop. Ben, 34, joins her at the table. Ben.
Which one is it?
It's the PDF, and it's called Ben and Mary.
Oh, top left. Top left.
There we go.
Double click.
Double click. Okay. Good, good. If we go down to the next page, please.
Oh, just exit. Just click the exit.
Can we scroll down?
I'll just try and maximise it first.
Okay.
The text is going to be big.
Right, so, Ben, Mary, you're wasting your time. Ben, I just want to get my son and go. Where is he? Mary, Joe is safe. Mary sips her coffee. Ben takes a seat. This doesn't have to be the end for you and Joe. It isn't. Give me back my son. A couple of customers turn and look at them. You're just a sperm donor. Do you want me to call the police? Because that's just a phone call away. Did you drug my baby? Ben doesn't answer. Joe still doesn't know her mother's dead, and he's not going to. Not until he's older. I'm not going to let you bring up my grandson with a lie. Ben stands up. Give me back my son. Okay? Very simple scene. Lots going on. Or is there? So, who's the bad guy here? Who's the sympathetic character?
Ben and Mary's the antagonist. I'm not reading it.
Just, any ideas?
Well, Ben wants his son back, and Mary's saying, I'm not giving it back, and I guess he wants more out.
So the question is very simply, who's
Ben's the protagonist, Mary's the antagonist.
Okay, so Ben is the person we want to be rooting for?
Yeah.
Okay, any thoughts on that? Any deviations? Anyone disagree?
Well, it depends on the reading, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but at this stage, we're at script stage. At this stage, the director hasn't made any choices yet. So
So what are you expecting us to make the choices?
No, I'm just asking. It's basically, we're opening it up to a discussion. So, you know, at this point, do we know who's the sympathetic character and who's not?
No.
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 Not at all.
Okay.
It depends. I mean, if you go right back to the top of the script, the description of Ben is very bland,
Deliberately.
right?
Yes.
So he could be a 34-year-old junkie with the shakes and completely all over the place,
Right.
having murdered his wife.
Claims that Mary is seated in the middle of a busy coffee shop. That she could be. She could have been 16 and pregnant. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, she couldn't be 16 to 59 then, could she?
No, no, there is the grandma.
Ah.
Right.
Well, we assume.
Oh, no.
Could be
Okay.
any
So-
sort of relationship there.
Let me give you a bit of backstory, see if that changes your mind at all. Mary is 59-year-old mother of Julia, who is 23. Julia has been killed in an automobile accident. Mary wants to look after Julia's 4-year-old son, Joe. Julia did not marry Joe's father, Ben, 34, because Ben was out of the picture as soon as he learned Julia had become pregnant. When Joe was born, however, Ben suddenly became interested. He wanted to take Joe away, as Ben's family are wealthy. He applied for custody and, using his family's influence, won sole custody of Joe. This forced Julia to drink. She stole Joe back despite the court's order, and in a high-speed chase with the police, her car rolled over. Julia was taken to the hospital where she later died. Joe was unharmed. At the hospital, Mary took Joe and left. The autopsy revealed that banned substances were found in Julia's body. Ben has arranged to meet Mary to collect Joe without involving the police. So that's the backstory.
I still don't view him as a bad guy.
Sorry?
I still don't view Ben as a bad guy.
No, because I mean, there's no right or wrong here. It's just whatever, however it hits you. Has anyone changed their mind about who, you know, they thought was the sympathetic character now?
Well, it started to look as though Ben is the better fella.
Ben's the better fellow.
He's got the law on his side.
Just had Mary arrested.
Yeah. Well, she's dead.
No,
Oh,
Julie's dead.
She doesn't say in the script.
Did that to the child.
Yeah.
The child was
Yeah.
We came to
Ben's
Ben's
got sole custody.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, she's taken the child.
Yeah.
That's kidnapped and nicked.
What was before Joe was born?
It's too late.
In terms of Ben, like Julie got pregnant, and then what happened with Ben before Joe was born? When he decided he wanted.
He went away.
He went away. He learned that she was pregnant. He thought,
And
I
then
don't
he
want
gets scared
anything to do with this. He left. Then when the child was born, he came back and he wanted.
It's kind of, I don't know. Or when he
How much of a part did he
when
play in Joe's life afterwards? How old was Joe again?
4.
Joe's 4, right?
So it's
How
up
much
to
does
4
he
years.
actually know his father?
Well,
Do we know that?
he won sole custody after not wanting anything to do with
Yeah,
Julie.
because he actually
Change-
had sole custody.
Yeah,
How long?
now he has sole custody. Yes.
It's a slight change of mind, isn't it?
Yes.
What does beat mean?
Yeah, that's gonna ask.
Beat basically means that there's a
Just a
pause.
pause, yes.
So, yeah.
Why isn't pause?
There are a lot of things, you know, you're going to find in scripts that are put differently.
He says beat instead of
It's a
pause.
second thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Change in direction.
Yeah.
Slight change in direction.
Now, the actor doing it may decide that they don't want to put a beat in there, or they might decide that they're going to make the beat longer than a beat, make it longer. You know, these are all things that are open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben is wealthy, right? His family's got some money.
Yes.
So what's Mary's family like? Well, what's her extended family like? I know she's 59, but she's got family. Has she got any family that's alive?
We don't know from the script.
From the backstory then.
From the backstory, you heard the backstory, that's all you've got. Right?
Or maybe
What's
The
nice,
audience won't
what's
get the
nice
backstory,
is
will
that
they?
you're asking questions. And that's really the whole point of tonight, is to ask questions.
I've already got a view on there at the moment.
That's
How
fine.
how I'd want her to be.
That's
done.
fine, but I do want you to like keep some of your views to yourself because I want to get on. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
technically a director.
So these questions are designed to fuel your imagination, to get you to really think about the possibilities. This is by no means exhaustive. I've asked only 2 questions up here about each character, and look at some of the possibilities that it's thrown up.
And that's just the character, it's not even the set.
It's just about the character because it's like, it starts with a story. It starts with who these people are and what their story is. And so once we decide who they are, then we can decide how to tell the story, right? Do we want to feel sympathy for one character or do we want to feel sympathy for the other character? Do we want to show, one character as ruthless? Do we want to show, one character as a victim? It all depends. So we're interrogating the character's motivations because that's where it begins. So the 2 questions that I've asked per character are, question 1, did Ben drug Julia? Question 2, is Ben's family connected to the mob?
What more?
Does Mary have a plan? Question 3. And question 4 is Mary certain that Ben's family has something to do with Julia's death? Or does she merely suspect that? Okay, so let's go back to question 1. Did Ben drug Julia? If yes, does he feel guilty about it? If yes, does he have something to fear from the police finding out? If yes, could he lose Joe because of it? Right? These are all questions that I want you to consider that are coming as a result of our first question, did Ben drug Julia?
So why should we bother considering anything? It's written down for us. Why not just deal with that?
Just run to
What do
that.
I, yeah, what do I do? Just go through it.
When you watch a film,
Yeah.
a lot of these decisions have been made for you. So what you're getting isn't just a delivery of the line, you're getting all the thoughts and...
This is just a very short clip from a whole script, is it? This is just a bit you picked out.
No, this is something I've written specifically for this workshop, but it's deliberately written in a way that you can't go one way or the other with it. So the point is to interrogate the script, to ask, could it be this way, could it be the other way? In the hope that once you pick up a script of somebody else's, you can ask a whole ton of questions and try to determine very quickly, which way to go with it, which way makes most sense. And sometimes it does come to, you get 10 different directors to direct a scene, they'll direct it 10 different ways, right? So it does come down to your own sensibilities, your own interpretation, your own taste, the actors you've hired, etc. Alternatively, his family is very powerful and he has no cause for concern. He could easily take Joe by force from Mary and there's nothing she can do. Is that a possibility? Could he show up and be quite menacing?
He doesn't know where the baby is he?
Okay, maybe he doesn't. And
If he's
Well,
got
not at the
sole
moment.
custody, he doesn't have to turn up by force, other than by turning up.
Yeah, but that then raises the
alongside
question of
alongside
he's
the police.
proceeding to threaten her with the police if he's got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. No, but he can turn up.
Well, maybe there is something to worry about. Maybe he was involved in her and he doesn't want the police looking at the case too closely.
But that's all very well as a background story.
Yeah.
How does it help you direct an actor?
we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Did you say?
Because it doesn't matter if they know or have this backfilling, because you can't make reference to. There's no reference unless you're going to change their lines to the mob, to social services,
But in
Let me
the way
ask-
the actor delivers the line.
Let me ask, yeah,
And
let
a
me,
good actor will fill the blank.
let me ask, let me answer that question by asking this. Does the actor have to know what his backstory is?
Yes.
Yes.
Not
So would
necessarily.
it make sense for the director and actor to be in alignment with what the backstory is?
Yeah.
In most cases.
So why are we making one up now?
I'm just throwing a list of possibilities at you.
So we haven't got a
consider.
finished backstory.
And each of the directors for next week, they're going to look at what resonates with them most. They might go, you know what, it goes this way, and this way. You know, so they'll pick path 1, path 3, and path 5. You know, from the various questions answered.
There's no evidence, Michael, that in fact, it said, did you drop my baby? But there's no evidence that he in fact has physically been in contact with the mother of his son. You may have corresponded or you may have been through lawyers, but there's no evidence that he's actually physically seen her. So when the question comes up, did you drop my baby? Well,
Did you drop my baby?
drug.
Right.
Drug.
Yeah.
You know, so you may not anywhere near it, boy. It's done by
The baby she's referring to is her daughter.
Yes, I would
Julie,
have looked
the
into
23-year-old.
it.
But even so, he doesn't, I don't know whether he
Why
actually
didn't you
saw
say
her.
daughter then?
Yeah, why did
exactly.
you drug my baby? It's like it's her, it's her daughter.
Because that unnecessarily complicates the issue of the grandmother, because the grandmother might, having lost a daughter, consider her son, Joe, as her baby.
But the actor
Right.
would need to.
And I think the actual phrasing there is misleading and
Let's
Deliberate.
go back to the, let's go back, I think we're getting off track a little bit. Let's go back to the backstory. The person who was found with drugs in her system through the autopsy was Julie.
but that's not clear in that.
Yeah, but the point is,
No,
we're
no,
trying
I
to-
mean, no,
so
I realise what you're saying.
it would have been in the
backstory on that.
It would have
But it's
been
not
in
clear,
another
even
scene.
whatever way
Okay.
you deliver that line,
Yes.
an audience perception is going to be, I think, that Mary is talking about the baby.
No.
How
Because
Joe.
the baby is 4 years old and is not, there's no evidence, there's no reason for you to believe that the 4-year-old baby has been drugged.
But we don't know it's 4 years old.
I mean, there could be a previous scene when Mary
Age.
has visited the body in the morgue and said, my poor baby.
You know, if you read if
Yeah.
you read the script, Michael, there's nothing there about blood pressure or anything else, so it comes a little bit out of.
No, but that's my point. You get a scene like this, you may need to read, let's say this is a scene out of a feature film. You may need to read the entire script in order to extrapolate all the little bits that I've given you in a backstory. So basically what I've done is I've given you a scene, and I've given you a backstory with all the information that you would have got had you read the whole 100 and, what have you, page.
I think that potentially helps clarify for the audience.
Okay, is that clearer? Does that make sense? So, okay, alternatively, this is, again, we're going back to did Ben drug Julia. Alternatively, he wants Joe, who has lost his mother, to at least have his grandmother. Right? This could be one of Ben's motivations. Alternatively, he already has people looking for Joe while he's in there with Mary. So, he knows Mary has kidnapped little Joe. Well, where is little Joe? Is he in a car somewhere in the car park? Is he by himself in the car? Is he with somebody? Is he somewhere else? If Ben has so much power and influence, and let's say it, wealth, is it possible that he has people helping him look for Joe as we speak? Because that will colour how he interacts with, yes?
No, it's fine. Finish your sentence.
Yeah, it colours how he would interact with Mary on this. Yes?
See, I see a lot in how Mary is played that. Because if she comes across as a bit nutty, especially on the did you drug my baby,
Yes.
that means Ben is actually your hero. He's looking out for the child's welfare.
Yes.
Whether his family's wealthy, whether he's friendly with the police, all these things
Yes.
are irrelevant. They're red herrings.
Absolutely.
He just wants to get the baby back from a woman that could be a little bit.
Yeah. So the question is, do you, as the director, want Mary to play it a little bit nutty?
That's how I think it.
You know, and it's lots of different possibilities, and that's the whole point of this is to get you guys discussing, which is what we're doing.
Where was that baby after his mother died? Who came? Where was it?
With Ben.
Mary.
Because Ben had sole custody given
Yes.
by the court.
Oh,
so
yes, that's
the baby's been with Ben,
Yes.
Yes.
and Julia has come along and snatched the baby, having drunk, and gone off and crashed the car. The baby survives, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
I've got a question about the actual script there as well.
Yeah.
Michael. Why hasn't Mary told Joe the mother's dead?
Which
Joe
is-
knows the mother's. Sorry.
No.
Oh. Why hasn't he told Joe the mother's dead?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I mean, she snatched Joe away from Ben
Yes.
and has gone off with him and isn't returning.
Yes.
And a key bit there is, you know, Joe still doesn't know her mother's dead.
Right.
So why hasn't Mary, if she's concerned about it, told her
It's only a 4-year-old
herself?
boy.
Too young.
Well, no, but then you see, you know, so then there is an element of still Ben being quite righteous there because he's saying what you're saying, Simon. You know, he's not going to, not until he's older.
How long has it been?
How long can you keep it from?
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
turning up
it
because of
depends
notice,
on
isn't it?
what we've established previously about if he no longer has much contact with his mother, then
Yeah.
you probably could hide it for some time.
But
Exactly.
the baby, Joe, the 4-year-old, might have not even realised that Julia is his mother because he's had sole custody with the dad.
Yeah.
She snatched him.
Good point.
Now the grandmother, Mary, might think he'll
Could
forget.
come across as a complete stranger.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but the grandmother might think he just assumes I'm the mother and I take over that responsibility.
Wonderful.
I think Mary is the
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ben might be a policeman.
Okay. Let's look at the no alternative. Did Ben drug Julia? Let's say the answer is no. In that case, is he trying to appease a grieving Mary while he doesn't condone the fact that she has abducted Joe, like daughter, like mother?
Yes, in that line. This doesn't have to be the end for you and Joe.
Yes, but is he lying?
Oh.
Just to get do you see what I mean?
Oh.
You can take things literally, or
Yeah.
you can put something behind it. Yeah. So.
But you could take in the very goody-goody side as well, as you say. He's had nothing to do with it, he's just concerned, he doesn't want to,
Absolutely.
very English, doesn't want to
Absolutely.
cause a huge ruckus with the police.
Yeah. Alternatively, he isn't trying to appease Mary, he doesn't condone her actions and wants to get Joe and leave, never to see Mary again, in which case he would be lying. Right? Alternatively, he already has people looking for Joe while he's in there with Mary. He's waiting to hear that his people have picked Joe up. So really, the conversation for him, he doesn't really want anything.
Just marking time.
Yeah, he's just...
He could have a phone on the side there which he keeps an eye on.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Where's this taking place?
It's inside a coffee shop.
Is there any description of what they're wearing or what type of coffee shop it is?
Busy.
Either way.
Again, I'm going to leave this to the directors to decide for next week what sort of coffee shop you'd like it